Welcome to Blockbuster Tales, where movies come to life through epic breakdowns. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for your weekly dose of cinematic deep dives. Let's dive into the story.
Wednesday returns to Nevermore Academy, but something feels off the moment she steps on campus. Strange symbols of a raven wrapped in a serpent appear around the school. Students whisper about shadows moving on their own. Her nightmares begin to intensify, showing fire and a crumbling Nevermore. Principal Weems is missing, and a new silent headmaster takes her place. Enid notices her werewolf transformations are happening outside the full moon. Together, she and Wednesday investigate and find an old sealed tunnel beneath the school. Inside, they discover a coffin and an ancient book with blood-red symbols. Each page seems to react to Wednesday's presence. The book mentions a cult known as the Ravenborn. Tyler starts invading Wednesday's dreams, warning her about the return of an ancient serpent cult. He shows her images of the school overrun by darkness. Meanwhile, students begin behaving oddly, speaking in strange tongues and disappearing for hours. One student collapses in the hallway, whispering, "The Raven Queen must rise." Wednesday knows something terrible is coming. A new student, Lucian, arrives, pale, mysterious, and deeply interested in the occult. Wednesday is intrigued, yet suspicious, sensing something hidden beneath his charm. He reveals knowledge of the cult's symbol and references an ancient eclipse ritual. The book seems to resonate with his presence. Still, she keeps her distance and watches him closely. Enid begins dreaming of dark forests and chanting voices. They learn Nevermore sits atop a ritual site once used by a forbidden cult. Bianca confirms a prophecy tied to a siren, a raven, and a soul born in shadow. Everything points toward Wednesday being connected to the prophecy. The next eclipse is just weeks away. Principal Weems returns in disguise, revealing she faked her death to study the cult. She warns that the eclipse will merge dream and reality unless the ritual is stopped. Students are being manipulated through dreams, forming a growing secret faction. Weems offers guidance, but urges secrecy. Wednesday agrees, trusting her knowledge, but not her motives. Eugene tracks insect swarms moving in strange patterns near the forest. The bees form symbols matching those in the ancient book. Following them, he discovers a hive inside a tree shaped like a skull. When he touches it, he sees visions of cult sacrifices and dark ceremonies. He warns Wednesday the past is bleeding into now. Lucian reveals he's the descendant of the original Raven Queen. He claims to oppose the cult and seeks to stop the ritual. However, his bloodline makes him crucial to completing the prophecy. Wednesday debates trusting him, knowing she may need him to stop the curse. The book's pages start writing on their own. Wednesday wakes up in strange places with no memory of how she got there. Her clothes are dirty, and her hands are sometimes covered in ink or ash. She realizes she's being used as a vessel during her blackouts. Afraid of hurting others, she keeps it secret. Enid notices and starts pulling away. More students vanish, and some return with burn marks shaped like eyes. A teacher collapses mid-lesson, chanting cult phrases in an unknown language. The school goes into lockdown, and fear spreads among students. Bianca's mother warns that if the Hollow God rises, no supernatural beings will survive. The prophecy's clock is ticking fast. Enid is kidnapped and used as bait for the upcoming ritual. Wednesday uses a dream-walking spell to locate her in a shadowy version of Nevermore. There, she sees Enid bound near a glowing altar. Lucian appears in the vision, revealing he's being forced to participate in the ritual. Wednesday swears to save them both. The eclipse nears, and Wednesday prepares for a forbidden ritual to enter the dream realm fully. She tells Eugene to protect her journal if she doesn't return. As the sky darkens, she chants the incantation and loses consciousness. Her spirit enters a broken version of the school, built from bones and flame. She meets her darkest self. Inside the dream realm, her shadow self tempts her to surrender fully. The darker Wednesday mocks her emotions and connections, calling them weaknesses. But Wednesday embraces her memories, friends, and pain to merge both selves. This fusion shatters the cult's control over the dream realm. Her consciousness rushes back to her real body. She awakens during the eclipse and rushes to the altar site in the woods. Enid is moments away from being sacrificed as Lucian struggles against cultists. Wednesday completes a counter-ritual using blood from her journal and the ancient book. Light bursts from the altar, tearing through the cultist circle. The ritual is shattered. The hollow god begins to rise in fragmented form, giant, shapeless, and full of screams. Principal Weems sacrifices herself to hold the entity back temporarily. Lucian uses an ancestral relic to destroy the altar's gate from within. A shockwave knocks everyone unconscious. When they wake, the cult is gone, and the forest is silent. Nevermore closes for recovery, and students are sent home. At the Addams mansion, Wednesday receives a diary from her ancestor. It describes the same cult and warns that it can never be truly destroyed. Enid calls her, but the bond between them feels strained. They both know the darkness isn't finished yet. Lucian disappears, leaving behind only a letter. You woke something far older. Meanwhile, Tyler escapes from captivity with help from a mysterious figure. He seems more powerful, his eyes glowing with dark energy. He speaks of Phase 2 of the Hollow God's rise. A new plan is already in motion. The town near Nevermore begins to experience strange events. Time loops, missing hours, and whispers in people's ears spark fear. Wednesday finds a glowing mark on her wrist, the Ouroboros symbol. Uncle Fester warns that the entity has chosen her as a vessel. She hides it, unsure if it's a curse or a calling. Eugene shares new insect patterns forming a map to an unknown place. Wednesday dreams of a cathedral made of bone with black candles and a screaming choir. Letters arrive at her window, all sealed with wax of the cult symbol. One message reads, "The Hollow Cathedral awaits its queen." She decides to go. In the final scene, Wednesday writes in her journal, staring at the Ouroboros glowing on her skin. A raven delivers a scroll marked with blood-red ink. She unrolls it, revealing coordinates to the Hollow Cathedral. The candle beside her flickers and dies out. She whispers, "Let's finish what they started." As Wednesday prepares to leave for the cathedral, she catches her reflection changing in the mirror. Her eyes briefly flicker with shadow, not her own. The cathedral seems to be calling her soul even before she arrives. Meanwhile, Lucian watches from afar, alive, cloaked, and holding a second scroll. He says, "The Queen's trial has only just begun." In a hidden chamber beneath the ruins of Nevermore, the cult's altar glows faintly. A child's voice echoes, repeating the final words of the ritual. Tyler walks in, places his hand on the stone, and smiles coldly. "The gate may be shut, but the key is alive," he whispers. "The Hollow God is waiting, and this was only the beginning."